All right, so typically I'm starting with a body map when I have a new case. And I click, the client emails me their body map. They download their body map and email it to me. And then I save it on my computer and I open it up with a normal PDF viewer, which, you just click on it and it opens up. Okay. And usually you see this. Immediately I switch to table of contents mode. And I jump down to causes and development of your imbalances, right? So it's going to start there, but I click on this one. I open up the little arrow and then I jump down to stage one. Here, I don't start with causes, but I start with stage one. Okay. And then I start analyzing the client. This is my prep. Okay. Which takes me about a half an hour using this tool, an hour without it, right? If I don't use the tool, then it takes me longer. So let's take a look at this sample one. Soft stool. Yeah, that's important. Cracks on tongue, probably not. Some cracks on tongue. Doesn't look like it's that aggravated. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll click on it. Dry mouth, tongue. I look through a few here. Sensitive to alcohol, strong body odor. These are some important symptoms. So I'm going to click on strong body odor, and it's asking me if I want to add this symptom to my case, and I click OK. And then it asks me if I want to go to the case page. You see here that it brings me to a case page, and strong body odor is already keyed in, and it created the whole case and everything. So that's how you want to start your case. And then I'm going to go back here. Yes, it's sensitive to alcohol is important. Now notice this time it automatically adds the symptom. And I don't need to go to the case page. I can just literally close that window. Let's see. Sensitive to bright light, that's important. Eye twitching, that looks important to me. Let's see. Breast lumpy, yes, that looks important. Seasonal allergies, yes. Headache, yes. Looks important. So I'm just clicking on these. Migraines, yeah, really important. Thalassemia, yes. Irregular heartbeat, yes. These are all pretty important, right? Cramping back of leg. All right, so in general, I key in about 25 symptoms. Heart palpitations, yeah, we're going to want that. Food allergies, dry light period. Usually, if you're getting lumpiness in the breast, the period's not going to be that dry, but, we'll see. Tingling and numbness, definitely. Why are they getting pins and needles on their hands and feet? I want to know that. Many bubbles after urinating and limited sense of smell. Important to do all those, especially with the animal dander allergy. That's a respiratory allergy. All right, so I'm clicking on a bunch of those symptoms. You can see that I've clicked pancreatic sufficiency. Yeah, really important. And celiac. Yeah, I'm going to include those. Jump back up to causes. They're vegetarian and irregular meal times and a stress undereater. Okay, good. So now you see I've keyed in about, normally I key in about 25 symptoms with a client. I've keyed in about 20 right there. That was pretty fast, a lot faster than writing it out, right? If I wrote it out, that would take me how long? 10 minutes? Get a tired wrist. How do you know you're saving the symptoms in the correct case? One student's asking, and it's when the client sends it to you, it's going to create a case with the ID of the client. So this was client ID 1. It was a body map, a test body map that I just saved for myself. And I'm the first user because, well, I built Joyful Belly. So it is tied to their account ID. So it's going to create a case with their account ID. All right. Okay. So I've keyed in a bunch of symptoms. I can see them all here. And now I'm going to enter in some photos. I click browse. Let's see. I don't know if I have photos of myself here. Where might I have that? There you go. I think that's a picture of me. Let's see if it uploads. There we go. There I am. Okay. So I got a picture of myself in there. And notice it's asking me if some of these are in this photo. But let's see. Loving heart-shaped face. Yeah, there we go. hair look thin or thick? It's kind of medium. No, I'm not going to say that, right? So I'm just going to go through this and look for stuff. Dark brown hair. Yeah, I would say dark brown hair. You know, and I don't need to go through all of these. Typically, an experienced practitioner is not going to go through this whole list, but in the beginning, I might go through it just for, you know, if you're new. Lips, do my lips look a little pale there? Maybe they look a little pale. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So, okay. So I might click on some additional symptoms and stuff there. And I can also search for ones, you know, a little bit of a receding hairline there. Receding hairline. Okay. Add that to the list, and there you see it. Okay, so and in kind, I'll add tongue photos, childhood photos, etc. Pretty easy. And you'll see that whatever you clicked on is now in this list. Where do we see? Receding hairline. There it is. All right. I'm going to go up to the top. I'll put in the name or some variant of the name, right? Gender, male, married, height, 5 foot 10 inches. Automatically converts to 70 inches, 153 pounds. And I could click in Asheville, North Carolina, etc. Great. Now I'm going to click down to case goals, and I might say here, I don't know, mild COPD with high blood pressure, thick coating back of tongue, and low appetite, right? That's some hypothetical type things. I might just put those quick case goals in there, and good. Now I see from the client concerns that they do have COPD, so I'm just going to click on COPD, add it, and and then immediately I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to be like, wow, how long have you had that, right? How long? Anything aggravate your COPD? And I click submit question. And I go through that in kind. I'm going to click on the symptoms, right? If I click on this, it opens up the symptom section, right? Each of these little arrow boxes will open or close. I click on symptoms, and I'm going to go through. I'm going to start keying stuff in. Vegetarian diet. There's a little bit more Vata of a diet, so I might put Vata in the diet. And you'll notice that as soon as I key something in, the exclamation point goes away. So I click on a regular meal time, that's also Vata in the diet. Stress undereater, also Vata in the diet, but it could also be Vata in the nervous system. So I'm keying in the syndromes. It's pretty fast and easy to do. All right, celiac disease. Rough in digestion, right? Or a potential cause of roughness in digestion, to be more exact, but food allergy also rough. Pancreatic insufficiency, definitely rough in digestion. So I go through and I click these, dry, light, period. Not sure what the cause that is. I'm not going to assess that yet, but strong body odor is toxic or AMA in the Rasa. All right, many bubbles after urinating could also be toxic in the Rasa, but also could be rough in the kidney. Not sure yet. Maybe if I don't see additional signs, I might remove that later. Limited sense of smell and seasonal allergies and hay fever. Let's see, sharp, or it might be heat in the respiratory system. Okay. Hot and respiratory health. Limited sense of smell. Maybe that's because of the heat in the respiratory system. Animal dander allergy, hot and respiratory health. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, also due to inflammation in the area. Thalassemia minor would be deficiency in the blood, deficient in Racta. Right, so you see I'm just going through and I'm just keying all these symptoms in. And you know, I'm moving through at a good clip here. A lot of these are repeats. You can see I've already got almost halfway here. Heart palpitations would be Vata in the nervous system. We already have an entry for that. Pale lips would be deficient in red blood cells. Irregular heartbeat would be Vata in the nervous system. Pins and needles, hands and feet. We're going to need to ask some more questions about that. When does this happen? When do you get this? Or I might just put when. I don't like to use a lot of words, right? Because then you have to read a lot of words later. When? How often? And I submit the question. So you can see I can continue going through that. Once I'm done, I've entered in a bunch of questions. See how it gets a little red flag when you enter a question? But I've entered in a bunch of questions, and I can see the list of all the questions I've asked here. If I asked 15 questions, you'd see a list of 15 questions in the client goals and case notes. Right, and I've set up my syndromes here already. So I might add some actions here if there's toxicity and strong body odor, but where is that coming from? Probably from the liver. So I'm going to suggest alterative as an hepatoprotective, and maybe even a general laxative for toxins, for Vata in the diet. Not going to suggest an herbal action for that. I'll just suggest make some routine shifts. But for celiac, food allergy, and pancreatic insufficiency, I might suggest immune calming, anti-inflammatory, and a digestive, and easy to digest foods. Wow, that was super easy. I have all something that repairs membranes that might be helpful for pancreatic insufficiency. Super fast, right? Great thing. And bitters should also stimulate digestion. All right, I'm going to go down to, this says that's the rough and the kidney that's still, but I'm just going to leave that alone for now, and I'm going to deal with maybe I'll deal with that consultation number 2. Heart palpitations, irregular heartbeat, and stress under eater. That looks like I'm going to need something like a Nervine and an antispasmodic, and maybe even an anxiolytic. Yeah? Good. Thank you, Intelligent Herb, for suggesting those, even though I could have just done it by memory too, right? Deficient in red blood cells, I probably want a blood tonic. Nice, it's right there. All right, and maybe also hepatoprotective, maybe not, I don't know, I can delete that one. It's not hard to delete. Okay, so I'm still doing prep for my consultation, pretty fast. I mean, like I'm almost you see I'm taking you in real time through a prep of a consultation. It's like super fast and a lot faster than if I had to do this by hand. Then I can add some favor and avoids here. So quit the coffee and the alcohol. Coffee, alcohol, right? And for favor here, I'm going to see what the suggestions come up. Triphala is a fine laxative, but I'm kind of Vata Pitta. So I don't know if I'm going to do, but burdocks is certainly a nice, burdock root's a nice tonic. Artichoke heart's a little too intense for me. I'm not going to do that one. But licorice ghee sounds great. And for these toxins, I'm probably going to do Harataki. So I don't see Harataki in the list, but I'm adding it myself. Pretty easy, right? Okay, I'll go through and add recommendations for the rest of these by keying in the favor and avoid. And at this point, I have some ideas for my client, but you know, I still haven't done the consult yet. So I'm going to start the consultation now. First thing I'm going to do in my consultation with the client is I'm going to jump to questions in the client goals and case notes. And I'm going to say to my client, this is what I do. I have 15, 20 questions when I start my consultations. And I tell my client, give me a 1-sentence answer to each of the following questions so we can run through and I get some basics on everything that you're looking for, right? So, then I ask the client, and in a very short order, we get through all 15 questions. I might ask them some more, And I typed the answer in right here, 3 years ago. Oh, that question is not showing the symptom there. I think that there we go. Now the question wasn't showing the symptom before, but on refresh it is. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. How long? Anything aggravate? Yeah, campfire smoke. And animal dander allergies. Okay, so now I've got both those questions answered, and good. I go through the whole consultation, and they've gotten lots of remedies. For my blood tonic here, maybe ashwagandha, because that'll help with the nervous system issues also. And ashwagandha is a blood tonic. Oh, come on here. There we go. Oh, can I type? There we go. Ashwagandha, Withania somnifera. And let's see, chicken livers, also great. Blood tonic. Anantamul, probably calm that person down a little bit. And Mangista might help too. Okay, alfalfa sprouts, another good blood builder. Okay. Now I might build an herb formula for the client. Liver Cool herb formula. I click create. And then I go to the ingredients. Burdock, I'll use some of these herbs that I already put up above. Ashwa. And let's see, what else? Licorice root. Sounds great for this client. And I'll give them 1 ounce of the ashwa, 1 ounce of the, ooh, I'm surprised that didn't give me an error. And 3 ounces of the licorice root. Mix those together, and I'll tell the client to take 0.5 teaspoon upon waking for 3 months. Okay. Now I've set up an herb formula for them. And the other recommendations, maybe I type in, now for these boxes here, syndrome instructions or diet recommendations and links, you're not putting remedies in there, you're putting summaries in there, right? The remedies you're putting in this avoid and favor section so that when you survey your client, you'll get the clinical results of your suggestions, right? Okay, good. So moving right along, I'm going to click build the final report for the client. Thanks for meeting with me. You have a handsome heart-shaped face. Anyway, you don't have to put that in. But this is where you compliment the client for their strengths. You're doing a great job with your health, and especially your curiosity is enthusiastic. Right? Fix those spelling errors. Next appointment, couldn't do 2 weeks. All right. And let's see, I definitely want to put in the suggestion not to do the, to avoid alcohol, alfalfa sprouts, chicken liver, definitely. I want to keep that on the list. The harataki, I didn't put the harataki in the herb formula, did I? And go back. Oh. And for whatever reason, it looks like it entered those twice and it's now giving me a little error. But I want to add harataki to this, something a little more laxative. And I'm going to put 1 ounce in there for that. And 2 ounces of the licorice root. Yeah, there we go. Back to build report. Okay. Nope, not stick for any reason. But I don't need to show them any of the herbs because I made an herb formula. Maybe I'll add an antamul to the formula too. Right, now notice here it links the chicken liver to Joyful Belly website to give your client more information about chicken liver. And but you can also replace that with a different link. So here it says chicken liver and it's giving the Joyful Belly link, but if you have a different link you want to send them about chicken liver, you just put it in there. And you can also give them a place to buy chicken liver. All right, good. Hot and respiratory health. Let's see. Let's turn on some of these symptoms that we want to have: irregular mealtime, vegetarian, stress undereater. Yeah, the strong body odor, many bubbles after urinating. We're not going to deal with that yet. Deficient red blood cells with thalassemia minor, irregular heartbeat and heart palpitations, definitely. Roughened digestion, we're turning that on. And that's it. We can turn some of these other ones off. Good. Now you preview your draft. You see it's built a nice draft for you. And then you click Build and Save Final Report. Now you have a report that you can copy and send to your client over email, and all pretty fast, right? You see that if I was doing this, it would have been twice as fast as I was, but I pretty much, it took me all of, 20 minutes to key in most of that. And again, that's while teaching. So typically I spend a half an hour before and after a consult, but I used to have to spend an hour before a consult prepping. Now I don't, because I use the tool, right? So that's the goal of the tool, that it can put all this together and make it very easy for you. It's really the first electronic health system for Ayurveda, for and for that matter, I don't know of any for Chinese medicine, and this would work for Chinese medicine too, but for these medical systems that are natural, meaning assess the nature of the disorder and patterns of imbalance. And so it's pretty exciting. And what I hope to do is get not only that you get to see the results of your clinical suggestions, but that I can look at data in the aggregate across thousands of clients and give evidence-based information, evidence-based data about the effectiveness of Ayurveda as a whole, which will help you in your public credibility with, in medicine. So yeah, but that's a long-term goal. In the meantime, it is here the benefit for you is that it helps you. And the benefit for us is that it allows us to do research.